Hey there, race fans. We're Karen and Chris from this second half adventure. In this episode, we're going to give you the top tips for enjoying your first Indy 500. And be sure and stick around till the end because we'll give you 2 pro tips. So, why should you listen to us?
Well, we have a total of 75 years of Indianapolis 500s combined. I've been to 45, Karen's been to 30, and we're both native Hoosiers who grew up, 50, 60 miles from the track. I think we've got a little knowledge we can share, and hopefully you'll enjoy it.
As the insurance company says, we know a thing or two, because we've seen a thing or two. And these tips are in no particular order. Our first tip.
Have a ticket. Not this one. This is an old one, so it won't do you any good, but have a ticket before you get there. You can buy one online through the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, IMS, either general admission or in an open grandstand seat. Now, at this stage, 1 week before the race approximately, tickets for the grandstands and the bleachers are getting a little harder to find. You could also look at the infield seating. There are viewing mounds in 5 spots, I believe, around the track.
You can see where those viewing mounds are if you look at the map of the Speedway track online. We'll put a link down below in the description to that map.
Another option is to buy a ticket from someone you know. Maybe they have an extra ticket and someone couldn't make it to the race this year, so at least you know who the people are. We advise against buying from a scalper. We just know that there are counterfeit tickets sold frequently, so buyer beware.
Now, if you don't do grandstand seating, you can also do general admission, which will get you into the infield of the track, which Chris mentioned you could view from the mounds. Now, some of you will be coming for the snake pit, which is the EDM party. That will cost you an additional amount. I think it's $35. There's also a VIP bump up, but that's in addition to your $50 general admission price.
And now, EDM?
Electronic dance music.
Thank you.
It looks like a great party, I'll say. But some of this might not apply to you because my guess is you might not be there to see most of the race. You'll probably be there for the party.
The entertainment in the snake pit starts earlier in the morning. They do halt the music and the dancing during the opening ceremonies for the start of the race. And then they continue after the race starts and go, I think, until the race ends.
I think the snake pit stays open until 5:30. Again, we will put a link down below so that you can go to that page on the snake pit and get the information. Now, the other circumstance you might find is if you are fortunate enough to have a ticket to the bougie suite with food and beverages, we don't need to tell you how to have a good time. I'm pretty sure you can figure that one out for yourself. Number 2, take good care of yourself. Eat breakfast that day, be well hydrated, and be sure and wear sunscreen and take extra sunscreen. What should you wear with regards to clothes, Chris, if you're coming to the track?
You'll see about everything. Black and white checkers are usually welcome. You'll see people that will cover up because of the sun to try not to get burned. You'll see people that will take off more because of the sun. Then you may see people that stayed up all night and probably haven't changed clothes in 24 hours. So you will see just about everything.
Be sure and keep an eye on the weather report, though, so you know, do you need to bring an umbrella or a rain jacket? A little backpack that you can take is a good idea, because that way you can, if it gets hot, you can take your outer layer off and tuck it in your backpack, or if you need to cover up from the sun, you've got something in there. You want to bring a hat, especially if you're sitting in the grandstands, because the sun will really beat down on your head if it's a sunny day. But if it's a cool day up in the upper grandstands, if the wind blows, it can get pretty chilly.
It can.
Also, be sure and wear comfortable shoes. It's a big place, and if you're driving, you're probably going to have to park a little ways away. I think we looked, and how far do we usually walk on race day, Chris?
It broke down to about 1.5 miles. into the track, and then whatever walking that you do during the race.
And if you'd like some ideas for things to wear with either black and white checkered or red, white, and blue patriotic, since it's for Memorial Day, is also very popular. We'll put some links to some things on Amazon. If you decide to buy some of that, we might get a little something from them for doing that. But it's at no cost to you.
And since Karen mentioned being Memorial Day, having said that, the race itself is a celebration of all the freedoms that we enjoy because of the sacrifice of all of our service members throughout the world, and healthcare workers, of course, nowadays.
First
too.
responders.
First responders.
Yeah.
Be aware and be respectful of the occasion.
They will do an invocation or a prayer for servicemen and women throughout the world, also to keep the drivers safe. They will play taps in honor of those who have died in service of the country.
And that, I want to add, it's an amazing, minute?
Yeah.
Over 300,000 people, and it just almost is dead silent.
It is. Take your hat off. Be sure you stand up. They will play America the Beautiful, God Bless America, and the national anthem. And they usually have a celebrity who comes in to sing the national anthem. They will also sing one of our favorites, our state song, Back Home Again in Indiana. These are all great traditions of the Indianapolis 500. So be sure that you're in your seat to enjoy these things.
Yes. And then, of course, the flyover at the end of the national anthem, and then in several cases the past few years, the Jets have come back around and did another flyover of the track right after Back Home Again in Indiana. And it's always a crowd pleaser, as they say.
It is. So our next tip, timing is everything. Be sure you get to the track early. Know where your seats are if you're in the grandstands. Get to your seat before all the festivities start so that you can see it. Also, with regards to timing, as soon as the race is over, you don't want to head for the exits. There are more than 300,000 people there heading for the exits. Just chill in your seat or get up and walk around. You'll see them take the car to the winner's circle and get ready for the presentation, drinking the bottle of milk and all the typical post-race traditions. So just stay put for a little while, let things clear out. There is a lot of traffic leaving. It's going to take you a while to get out.
It will, no matter what you do. So if you're going to your first race, you'll probably need to get a Indianapolis Star newspaper, or you could buy a program at the track, and they have the photos of the cars and the drivers with the livery, as I say, the color and design of the car. So it can help you identify the cars as they zoom around the track. At their slowest, they're probably going 218 miles an hour in a turn and 230 something down the straightaway. So picking out numbers sometimes are difficult. Colors are much easier to identify, so that would be a good way to do that.
Also, in the program and in the Indianapolis Star, they have the grid laid out for you. That will help you know where cars are when the race first starts. If it's your first race, you're probably going to lose track of who's who. But stick around till the end because we'll have a tip for you on how to follow that. Our next tip, with regards to food, you either need to take a well-stocked credit card and your picture ID, or you need to pack your own food and bring it with you. Now, coolers are allowed in the grandstands, but you are very limited in the size of those coolers. Chris, what's the size of the cooler that they'll let you bring in?
I don't know.
15 by 15 by 12.
I didn't want to screw that up.
I'll ask you again.
15 by 15 by 12.
You are allowed to bring alcoholic beverages in. You are not allowed to bring glass in. They will not allow oversized coolers into the stands. They will not allow glass in your cooler into the inside of the track. So be sure you're following the rules. And when you go through security, they will scan your ticket. They'll check your bags. So make sure you don't have anything you're not supposed to have. There is a list, a very detailed list online at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway's website about what you can and cannot bring into the track.
So, having said that, maybe one of the most important things you want to pack is your patience. There are more than 300,000 people attending the race. Last year, 330,000. Things can get a little crowded. Lines move rather quickly. So getting to the race and getting out of your parking space after the race, I don't want to call it an ordeal, but it will try your patience. So getting to the race and then out of the race, it will be crowded, traffic most times moves rather quickly. The state police and Indianapolis police tend to do a really good job moving traffic, but there's just so much of it. There's only so much they can do to keep traffic moving. They close down lanes of the main roads around the track. They try to keep people moving as quickly as they can. So just be patient.
Our next tip is about bathrooms. Be sure that you hit the bathroom before you head out to the track. If there is a gas station or a restaurant or someplace where you could use the restroom, once you get parked before you get into the track, do that. I guess it's go early and often. That would be my advice.
Yeah.
Because once you get into the track, then you can use the bathroom there, but it's going to be a pretty good walk into the track. Once you get up into your seats in the stands, that's another situation. Chris, do you want to talk about that?
Yes, be warned if you get seats up in the grandstands, very tall, maybe 36 to 40 rows high. So if you're in the upper rows, it'll take you a little while to get down there, and it's a little bit of a hike to get back up. A popular time is to go during a yellow flag, or if there's a weather delay. If there's a yellow flag, you'll notice that a lot of people follow that pattern, and they'll get up and leave their seats so they don't miss any of the action in the race, and that's always a good time to go. If you do have the need to go to the bathroom in the middle of the race, the aisles are very narrow, and the room between the seats in front of you, the little aisles are quite narrow, but most times people will stand up and try to give you a hand if they can, help guide you by. Everyone's quite friendly.
I've had many times that I've gotten up and edged my way out of a row to go down to the bathroom, and we're 2 or 3 rows from the top. There is a back stairway that you can go down once the race starts usually, which cuts out some of the crowd that you have to face. But I've had many times that people have offered me a hand to help me step over, and people are pretty cooperative about that. But going during a caution flag is the best time, because then there are a lot of people getting up and moving. It's easier to get in and out at that time.
So I guess my little bonus tip is that if you have any problems, questions, you need directions, some kind of track-related question, look for the yellow shirts, and they're called yellow shirts. They're quite helpful. The majority of the yellow shirts have been there for numerous years, have great experience. They'll be able to help you, and they're more than willing to help you. So
they're very gracious, good ambassadors of the state of Indiana, I think, and of the track.
Yeah.
My bonus tip to you is to bring with you a set of AM/FM noise-occlusive headphones tuned to 1070 WIBC, which is an Indianapolis radio station that broadcasts the race live. Now, when I first started going to the race, I was not a race goer. I had been to the track, I'd been to qualifications, I'd been to practice, but I had never been to the race itself. Once they start lapping each other, it is very difficult to tell who is on what lap, who's in first place. Maybe you can see on the monitor, the big monitor above. It's kind of hard to see sometimes, but if you have the headphones tuned to the race, you can hear the race live as it's being called, and you can tell exactly what's going on. You kind of make new friends when you have those, because whenever there's a caution flag, you know exactly whose car got wrecked and if they're okay, what happened, and everybody will turn and look at you. waiting for you to tell them who it was that was in Iraq, why there's a yellow flag, and so forth. That was a big game changer for me as far as being able to really enjoy the race and get involved with it. I might also mention that if noise bothers you, especially if your seats are down close to the track, you might want to think about bringing some hearing protection with you. And we have put some links down below the description for some hearing protectors and for the AM/FM noise occlusive headphones.
So if after watching this you have any questions, please don't hesitate to comment, and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can. We'll tell you everything we know. We'll be truthful about what we know, and if we don't know it, we'll see if we can find out who does.
Now, for more in-depth info, you might take a look at this video from Chris DeHardy, or for more information on our channel, see the trailer down here. Is it down here? Up here? See the trailer on our channel up here.
You always move it on me.
I know. But we do hope that you have a great first Indy 500 experience.
And as they say around Indiana at this time of year, if you're going to the race, have a good race.